What it do, what it do. It's your boy Andre Spruell, and you are tuning into the Middle of the Fence podcast. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, whether you're listening, watching, or both. As I like to say, time is the most valuable thing on this earth because we can spend it but can't make it back. So as always, thank you for your time. Have you ever felt like becoming better was somehow making you worse? Like the more disciplined you get, the more focused you get, the more serious you get about your goals, the more uncomfortable the people around you become. That feeling has a name, and I call it the guilt of growth, which will be the primary focus for today's episode. And if you've ever tried to level up while still staying loyal to your old life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, the main idea or problem for this episode is that growth doesn't just challenge you, it challenges your relationships. And we hear so many times that as you grow and evolve, you're going to lose your friends along the way, you're going to lose relationships with family members and things of that nature. But we got to keep in mind that when it comes to growth, growth changes routines, it changes priorities, it changes availability, and it changes identity, especially for those that felt like they've had to navigate two different worlds simultaneously and being in a place where they have to grow from their old self and enter into the next phase or phases of their life. And people who knew the old version of you sometimes struggle with the new one. Most people think growth is just hard work and discipline. But the hardest part of growth is emotional. And when it comes to that emotional growth, I remember a moment when I realized I was changing and felt bad about it. One is kind of funny, the other one a little more on the serious side. So the first one personally was when I started going to the gym very early in the morning. So I started that habit around 2021, 2022 of hitting the gym at 5:30 a.m. or 6 a.m., right? And I get it. That's very, very early. And because of that, I was posting on my Instagram story of myself going to the gym because showing up is the hardest part, regardless of what you do. And as I was posting that and people started catching on, I used to hear things like, go back to sleep. That can never be me. You're a psycho for waking up that early. But, because of what I went through with that, it stemmed from the fact that, again, for those that aren't familiar, having two major knee reconstruction surgeries at 19 and 20, right? So part of my growth and evolution was from a physical and health perspective because of the negative mental and physical effects that were suffered from that type of injury, right? And that's something that is more on the comical side, but I stuck with it because I don't know about you guys, but for those that are the gym goers that are tuning in, going at night just causes too much anxiety for the boy. I hate having to ask every single person, hey bro, how many more sets do you have? Excuse me, ma'am, how much longer do you have on that machine? So that's that one. And then the second story that most people can relate to tuning in is when you forego the relationships with family and close friends because of the growth and evolution that you're on. And, and that can stem from the fact that, again, because you're at a certain place that those close to you aren't, sometimes they try to bring you down with them as a result. And although it's not easy to not talk to family and friends that have been such a big part of your life for such a long time. When it comes to that growth and evolution phase, again, regardless of where you grew up and where you're at in life, it's just what comes with the territory. And embracing that growth and evolution is what's most important. Now, here are the three main ways guilt shows up. It shows up as time guilt, success guilt, and boundary guilt. So let's look at each of those. First, time guilt. I can't hang out as much anymore. And this is something that as you grow and evolve, regardless of your circumstances growing up, you're more available and being able to be like, hey, we're grabbing beers on a Wednesday night. You around? Yeah, I'm in. We're going out Saturday. You in? Yeah. We're hitting brunch Sunday. You in? Yeah. But as you grow and evolve and you start to prioritize the things that really matter in life, you're going to start to say no to some of those things. And, at the end of the day, when it comes to the growth and evolution and the fears that can come along with it, you got to keep in mind that as you grow and evolve, the people that love and care for you the most are still going to be there for you no matter what at the end of the day. And the second form, success guilt. What if I outgrow people I care about? And this doesn't just mean, oh, I grew up in an urban environment and now I became a millionaire and all that, so people are going to think of me differently. No, it can also show up in the fact that you're, from a success perspective, you're the first one to graduate from college out of your family. You're the first one to land a high level corporate type of job that's paying six figures or more. Or it doesn't have to be just tied to the financial success, but some of the guilt that can come around from the growth of you becoming successful is the fact that you're worried, like, oh, is so and so still gonna be in my life? Because just like people say, you can't take everyone with you, right? And again, part of the growth and evolution phase is becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's another aspect when it comes to the success guilt. And lastly, boundary guilt. Saying no makes me feel like a bad person. I don't know about you guys, but this is the one that your boy had the most trouble with when it came to this, or as it comes with this growth and evolution phase, right? Because I was someone that was a people pleaser, and that's something that people can relate to. Constantly being there for people, even if it was at the expense of just, of myself, right? But you're not a bad person just because you say no to certain things. And easier said than done, but when you're someone that really cares for others deeply, you can tend to feel that way. And when it comes to that, at the end of the day, as long as you understand who you are and that you are a good person, it doesn't matter what people think. It really doesn't, regardless of what your views are, to be frank. And growth forces you to choose between comfort and potential. So you decide which side of growth you want to be on. Now, for anyone that's listening that is currently going through this or has gone through this or knows of someone currently going through this guilt of the growth and evolution that they're undergoing, it's about reframing the mindset, right? You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to want more. Growth is not betrayal. And as you grow and evolve, and whether that means leaving your hometown that you've known forever or leaving a toxic situation, albeit if it derives from family or relationship or whatever the case may be, got to give yourself the grace and space to grow. Because as we grow and evolve, there's all these self-help books. There's people that we can look up to. But most of the time when we're on our journeys, there is no, hey, this is the step-by-step guide for how to do X, Y, and Z. You have to learn it and figure it out along the way. And if you make mistakes and mess up, it's okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's life. Shit happens. All right? And outgrowing old habits is not the same as outgrowing old people. And Under this growth and evolution process, the guilt that comes along with it, with feeling bad because it's that, struggle of growing and evolving while your old self is still trying to hold on to what's familiar because your brain is designed to keep you comfortable and in environments that because of that. So keep in mind that as you grow and evolve, you're going to be surrounded with like-minded people, and even though you may lose family and friends and people of that regard, you're also going to align yourself with people that are like-minded, that have similar views, that also want the most out of life and don't let their past hold them back from who they are and who they're becoming. If you feel guilty for growing, that usually means you're finally doing something right. The goal isn't to feel less guilt, it's to become strong enough to grow anyway. And that's what it's all about from middle of the fence. And no matter what side of the fence you grew up on, we're all more alike than we think. And this is the question that I pose to you guys tuning in. Where in life are you holding yourself back from growing because you're afraid of making someone else uncomfortable? Again, where in your life are you holding yourself back from growing because you're afraid of making someone else uncomfortable? Shoot me a message, leave a comment, or just take some time to reflect on that. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hope you have a great rest of your day or whatever time or evening if you're tuning into this at nighttime. And please be sure to continue showing us love and follow us on Instagram at Middle of the Fence and on YouTube at Andre Spruell for all the full-length episodes. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like. If you're listening on your favorite podcast streaming platform, give us a 5-star rating and comment and follow so we can continue growing this Middle of the Fence family. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. And if you like this episode, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube and hit the little notification bell so you can be the first to be notified when the latest episode drops. Also, be sure to check us out on your favorite podcast streaming platform as well, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And again, no matter what side of the fence you grew up on, we're all more alike than we think.